Imagine walking through a dense forest and hearing a bird call out your name, not just mimic it, but actually say it with meaning. Or picture your dog sitting beside you, tilting its head and asking, "Why do you leave every day for work?" What if the cow grazing in a distant pasture could ask for her calf to be returned? What if the whale swimming beneath the icy blue could recite ancient songs of ocean civilizations long lost? This is not science fiction. This is the tantalizing possibility of interspecies communication, and the profound consequences if animals could truly talk back. For centuries, humans have watched animals, studied their behaviors, trained them, and even loved them. We've seen loyalty in dogs, intelligence in dolphins, empathy in elephants, and mischief in parrots. But always from a distance. Communication has been limited to gestures, emotions, and crude sounds. But what if we crossed that final barrier? What if we could truly talk to animals, and they could talk back? The quest to understand animal language is not new. Scientists have long tried to decipher the clicks of dolphins, the dances of bees, the alarm calls of prairie dogs, the songs of birds, and even the complex vibrations of elephants. What they've found is remarkable. Dolphins give themselves names. Prairie dogs can describe predators in incredible detail. Crows can plan, use tools, and even hold grudges. Parrots like Alex the African gray could count, identify colors, and express preferences. Now, with the rise of artificial intelligence and machine learning, decoding animal communication is no longer a fantasy. We are entering a new era, one where massive datasets, sound recognition algorithms, and real-time behavioral tracking allow us to begin understanding animal languages as we would a foreign tongue. Projects like Earth Species Project and SETI, Cetacean Translation Initiative, aim to use AI to translate whale song, bird chatter, and more into something intelligible to humans. But what happens if the translation is successful? The idea of talking to animals seems magical, but what they might say could shatter us. What if elephants recounted generations of trauma from poaching? What if chickens spoke of lives lived in cages, of watching their chicks disappear? What if apes asked why their forests were burned? In giving animals a voice, we may be forced to reckon with centuries of abuse, exploitation, and ignorance. It also begs the question, would animals want to talk to us? They might see us as gods, monsters, or merely loud neighbors. And what if they communicate not in words, but in ways we don't fully understand? Through color, emotion, energy, or frequencies that trigger shared memories or instincts. If we could talk to animals, our entire relationship with nature would change. Zoos would be transformed from exhibits into universities of wisdom. Farms would need consent. Wildlife conservation would no longer be about numbers, but about needs, rights, and desires expressed by the animals themselves. Pets would no longer be just companions, they'd be roommates, friends, even critics. Religion and philosophy would be challenged. Are animals sentient in the way we define it? If they can articulate desires, fears, and dreams, do they have souls? Should they have rights equal to humans? Should they be allowed to vote in decisions that affect ecosystems? Legal systems would need to evolve. If animals could testify, could they sue polluters? Could whales demand clean oceans? Could chimpanzees call for freedom from laboratories? Economically, industries based on animal use would face upheaval. Meat production, fashion, scientific testing, all would face moral questions if the subjects of those systems could talk back. Imagine a world where cows debate their fate or where foxes on fur farms beg for mercy. Even war could change. Military dolphins or canine units might refuse missions. Animals might become pacifists, spiritual guides, or rebel leaders. The roles they play could expand beyond our wildest dreams. But there is another possibility. That animals already talk, and we simply don't listen. That their calls, body language, and community structures are all part of a rich tapestry of communication we've ignored because it doesn't fit our narrow definitions of language. Learning to talk to animals might not just be about teaching them our words, but learning theirs. Learning patience, observation, humility. It might mean tuning into the quiet wisdom of nature, to the frequency of the wild. Let's imagine the timeline further. Suppose a child is born in the year 2050 into a world where talking to animals is normal. Her first words might not be, "Mama," or "Dada," but a chirp that communicates with the family's parrot. Schools teach interspecies linguistics. Children have pen pals that are dolphins in sanctuaries across the globe. Language learning apps feature squirrel chatter and cat vocal tones. Zoo guides are no longer humans but tigers themselves, speaking through advanced translators. This same child may grow up understanding that cows mourn deeply. She may learn the specific dialect of horses, enough to listen to stories passed down herd to herd. Whales might share news from one side of the ocean to the other. We may learn from these vast aquatic beings about tectonic activity, currents, and marine health. In such a world, researchers might no longer work in labs, but in open sanctuaries. Guerrilla philosophers may emerge. Orators from the elephant tribes might be broadcast on global news, sharing warnings about climate, pollution, and balance. Our history books may be rewritten as animals share their accounts of floods, wildfires, and even wars. Think of the cultural explosion. Animal literature might be translated. Yes, literature. Storytelling is not exclusive to humans. Elephants pass knowledge through generations. Birds create songs with complex, layered meanings. We may find that foxes have myths, wolves have moral fables, and dolphins compose epics. Our libraries would burst with this new wave of thought. Relationships would change forever. Dogs wouldn't just sense our moods, they'd comfort us with words. Your cat might no longer just purr, but sing lullabies. The bond between human and animal could become the deepest connection one could experience. This also brings with it emotional weight. Pet loss would be more profound. Imagine having years of conversations, only to say goodbye one last time. The grief would be different, but perhaps so would the comfort. You could hear your companion's final words. Closure would be real. There's also the issue of accountability. If animals can articulate, they might also judge. They could question our habits. Ask why we burn forests, overfish seas, pollute skies. They could remind us daily of our responsibility as stewards, not rulers. Some might resist. There will be those who claim animals have no place in politics, in public discourse, in spiritual teachings. But in time, as their wisdom becomes undeniable, as their voices are heard in courts, classrooms, and conferences, resistance would wane. This future isn't only a dream. It's slowly arriving. Already, AI models are detecting patterns in whale sounds that suggest grammar. Researchers have documented complex alarm systems in meerkats. Devices translating dog barks into emotions are on the market. It's a matter of refinement, of time, and of listening. The real revolution is not in the machines, but in our hearts. In opening up to the possibility that we are not alone in our thoughts. That every leaf rustler, wave jumper, and sky dancer around us has been whispering truths we've ignored for too long. So what happens when animals talk back? The world doesn't end. It begins again, more inclusive, more empathetic, more alive. A planet no longer echoing with just human voices, but singing in chorus with all its creatures. And if we choose to truly listen, the conversation might save us all.